Welcome to tonight's Landscape Lenscast podcast. We are talking photography. We are showing pictures. We are positive Louise, Doug and Darren.
Evening, guys. Welcome to Landscape Lenscast, and we're back just for this Christmas for 1 hour tonight with the usual suspects. On the left-hand side, we've got Douglas Milne Photography, of course, and we've got the man who's on that his podcast is his own. Photo Peeps.
You've been on it.
He has.
Right, okay.
You've been a
Special
special
James.
guest.
Photo Peeps. Ginger Captures, of course, as you know him, and that's Darren Muirhouse. And on the right-hand side, we've got the man from the Thumbs Up group, and also photographer, and that is, of course, Steve Stain, who's also have a YouTube channel like the rest of the guys. Good to see Louise again. That's Louise welcome. Always welcome to be here, Louise. You know that. Welcome, and Louise welcome. Photography, as you know it, on YouTube also. So this is just a kind of one-off kind of Christmas special. We put it. Don't worry, you won't find us on TV Times like we used to do Christmas special. We used to mark things. This is just a podcast online. But I'll call it a Christmas special. First of all, I was going to go around the guys and see what they've been up to, and I just hope this is going to be worth your whiles, guys, watching, because they've not been up to much. But let's see what it's been a couple of months. I'm going to start off with Doug. Doug, have you rehearsed what you got to say?
No, I didn't know I was going to get asked questions like this, for goodness sake.
Well, just make something up and sound entertaining.
It's like an interview all over again, isn't it?
I don't know what I've been doing.
Yeah.
No, I was, where have I been? Dollar Glen a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
It's rather
Up
nice.
Island, yep.
Yes, supposed to photograph the waterfalls there, but I couldn't because the path's all shut. I didn't realise it would be shut.
Oh, man.
Them's the breaks. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And then yesterday I was up at Loch Catherine, which was pretty nice.
Loch Catherine, beautiful. That, yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So you got a few images.
One or two, yeah. I've
Yeah.
not processed them yet, but I've got a couple, yeah.
Yeah, well, we'll look out for these.
Hopefully in occurrence. We'll see.
And Dan.
In November, I can't remember what the hell I did in November.
Oh, November, right, okay. Well, yeah, well, I can't remember what I done yesterday, so never mind.
No.
Well, we'll move over to Dan, Mr. Photo Peeps. Dan, tell us more about what you've been up to. I know you've been up to a bit more
Yeah,
than
well,
all of us.
we had about 4 or 5 days in Glencoe. Then we dropped down to the Lake District. Met 3 or 4 photographers in the lakes. Took Daniel up Fat Man's Agony at Side Park. That was quite entertaining.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
yeah, I think it was more laughs than photography going on with that one. And then Friday and yesterday, we've been in the Peak District. So
Nice.
hence I look a bit worse for wear because I've got a sore head.
Explain a little more about why you've got a sore head.
It involves a public house.
And this is a public house. It's not a secret house or anything. Yeah?
No, it was a normal pub.
So people witnessed your drinking habit.
Neck oil has something to answer for.
I don't blame them. You consumed it.
It was very nice.
Yeah, I just
having
briefly tell us.
a pint of a Beaver Town. It was lovely.
Sorry?
Beaver Town neck oil.
Oh.
What are you laughing for, Louise?
To be fair, it is a good spot. It's a good drop.
Beaverton.
Yeah, Beaver Town neck oil. It was lovely.
Nice.
Just went down too well.
Embarrassing silence here.
Yeah.
Childish, that's all.
Yeah, we all are. It's Christmas, for God's sake. We could do that. I've not got a jingle for Christmas. I think I did have one, but
Look, it's fine. It's fine.
Yes.
Right, okay, sorry about that. Yeah.
Absolutely fine.
That's all.
So, Dan, before I move off to Steve, what you've been up to? I know you've got a podcast going on. Tell us more about that.
I've not got a podcast going on.
Sorry, not you. I'm talking to Dan.
Oh,
No.
me? Oh,
Yeah.
the photo peeps.
Can I see Steve there?
Yeah, you said Steve.
Start again.
Yeah. Oh, the photo peeps.
Again. Okay.
Right.
Sorry, Steve. That's my mistake. So, Dan, you just talked about your habits, drinking and things like that. Just tell me about something positive about what you've been up to for the last couple of months. I know you've got like a podcast going on. Tell the viewers about that.
Yeah, the Photo Peeps podcast. Yeah, really just... Obviously, we took a bit of a break from Landscape Lenscast. The F7.1 team sort of went their own ways and split up. So I don't quite know what happened there because we're in Scotland, so I had no signal. And we just thought, we got that excited doing this, why not carry it on with the Photo Peeps one?
Yeah. Good call. Good call.
And we thought we'd do it, instead of getting professional photographers on, get amateur photographers on.
Yeah, I
and
do like that. It's a good concept.
Look at it from their point of view, what they learned from the other people.
Yeah. That's
So
good.
yeah, it seems to be going quite
it's
well
nice
at the
to know
moment.
that, like, you guys are doing that as well. So I love to see, people doing their own thing and try to create something else from this kind of idea we've got with Landscape Lenscast. But yeah, Steve, what you been up to? Tell more about yourself and what's been going on with the Staney household.
Yeah, not a lot really. I've been up to Scotland again. Been up to Glencoe,
Nice.
done a bit of shooting up there. Before that, busy doing a few workshops. Had a busy month doing workshops in Cannock Chase and in North Wales as well. So that was quite busy. And I've been preparing for my knee-up. I shall be having a knee-up.
Oh, yeah.
I've had my pre-ops last week, so I'm more preparing for that, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Good luck with that, Howard, as
Have you
well.
both done together, Steve, or just one?
Oh, I wish. Yeah, no, they won't do
Yeah.
it.
Right.
So I'm going to be out for 3 months, then I'll have the other one done. So it's going to be at least 6 months out, actually.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to get in what I can, but it's try and get everything in and do as much photography as possible and get everything planned. And probably what I'll do is I'm giving my YouTube channel a rest, actually. Give it a couple of weeks rest so I can get a bit of a back catalogue ready.
Yeah.
I've got things to do and things like that for when the channel, when I can't actually get out and physically do any photography. And then what I'll probably do is do more tutorial stuff from home and things like that.
Nice.
Just to keep me active. It's nothing more than to keep me active. But
Firstly,
I'm not
you
looking
can do
forward.
some fabulous online toots, particularly with things like your post processing and stuff like that. And also, if you put out less, you know what I mean. Let's go once a fortnight or something like that.
Yeah.
Then that you'd have potentially enough to get you through.
It's more getting me through doing something. It's not so much the video work. It's something to do
okay.
while you've locked in at home, and it's going to drive me crazy. It's going to absolutely drive me crazy. But because they're saying it's at least 2 months recovery, and then you've got another little period before we're off again. And that's it.
Life gets in the way, and that's what happens. Isn't it? Just you have
Macro
to.
photography at home.
Yeah. Well, it could well be. Could well end up some garden macro.
Yeah, just do what we've done.
Anything just to get out, really. So, so I've sort of been winding down a little bit for that. That's it, really. It's going to be... I'm not looking forward to it at all.
No, I can't imagine.
No.
Under the
It's
knife.
upbeat Merry Christmas.
But once you get out the other end, think of where you'll be then.
Oh, what, sorry?
Once you're out the other end, think where you'll be then.
Oh, yeah.
You
It really is stopping my photography anyway. I'm literally struggling to walk 100 metres, really. Without... Well, I'm always constantly in pain, so at the end of it, it could be a revelation. Hopefully it'll all work and I can go back to walking up mountains and things like that. That'd be fancy.
Yeah.
Or even halfway up, to be honest.
You do push yourself because I know you've had that injury for a while. So you do push yourself. You do your hiking and your videos. You see it as well. You do see it.
What you don't see, obviously, is the same with all of us. Really, is the effort you get to get that. A bit like you hiking up that hill you've just been on about, Dad. It's you don't see that bit, do you? You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
You might do. You might do. I say we were
What you
trying
don't
to
see is a wheelbarrow. Someone carrying him up in a wheelbarrow.
Yeah, there were hardly any photography. We were just laughing and joking and whatnot all the way up. But yeah, we'll get you up there, Steve, once you've had your knees done.
Yeah, that'd be good.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear.
That's
Good
what
to
I
see
mean.
you guys to do a combo again. Use two guys to do a video together. I think both of these are good on YouTube. As well as Louise. Going back to Louise now. And Louise, tell us more about what you've been up to in the last couple of months. Good to see you back again.
Thank you. I'm unafraid to show you the sweaty bit. meaning going up a hill and lots of like bleeping out of swearing and things like that. So that's not shown. But I've been up a few hills in Ireland, so in Dingle, which was fabulous, where I actually, for a little bit of time there, Rodney O'Callaghan, the photographer, who just check out his work. Wow. He said, hey, I'll come over and meet you, which was really lovely. Unfortunately, the day that he came over, we had visibility of about 20 metres. So, yeah, that was a bit disappointing, but got to see a nice bit of Dingle. I've done quite a bit in South Wales. I've discovered a few new waterfalls. But other than that, it's all a bit at the moment. Whereas you guys have been having some dramatic snow and all that loveliness. Down south, we get blanket grey or... Yeah, we don't get the excitement that you do.
Yeah, we did have a teeny bit of snow, but not much in where I went.
Not much snow, and it was all when I was working.
Same here.
Yes.
Yeah. Same.
So not a lot. Paul, what have you been up to? Well, what have you been up to? You've been revolutionising stuff. An old Stanley pad is there.
Yeah, I'm just trying. Yeah. I mean, I've changed the name of my channel to Forest Frame. And as I said on Darren's interview with me, one of my mates called me, I can't remember your channel. What's the name of their channel? Forrest Gump.
Run, Forrest, run.
So anyway, that's stuck, and I was like, I'm not changing it again. So just it's mainly everything to do with photography in the woodland and all things photography in the woodland, like books, as well as book reviews, talking to woodland photographers, and also me out in the field as I usually gab a lot of crap when I'm talking about photography. So it's all there. It's all there in its abundance. Tonight is a video I'll just put out at 6:30. It's only, I think it's about 12 minutes long. I do promise to get them a bit longer if I can.
Oh, I like a shorty. You stick with the shorties.
I like to shorten these. Yeah.
Sorted. Stanley's last one was lovely and short.
I think 15 minutes is a nice marking.
Oh, I always try and get from 10 to 20 minutes if I can.
So,
Yeah.
was your last one? Just letting you know.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I think it's nice to get a nice cup of coffee and watch a good 30 minutes video, isn't it? It was like Thomas Heaton's ones have been out 30 minutes or so. So I'm quite enjoying his ones. But, yeah, that's good. I mean, we're all kind of up to other things. So, guys, I'm going to do is put a little video clip up. You know, we did have Adam Gibbs on the podcast, if you remember back. I was going to say last year. It does feel like that. But it was only this year. And I think it was something like about June or July. I think it was June. And Adam talked about, didn't want to talk about Gavin Hardcastle. I was going to put this on this, and I found out why. So a few other guests had something to say about why they didn't want to see him. So let's put this up.
I don't want any questions about Mr. Hardcastle.
They split up. That wedding never happened.
It was a really, really difficult time.
It's a bit of a sore point.
And the more time you have, the closer that relationship can become.
You know, something changes and actually that scene doesn't look the same anymore. And what I've just said might not make sense.
So, yeah, that was that. So we just thought we found out why. So anyway, that was just a nice little mock-up video and had nothing to do with myself, and I thought I'd put it all together. Of course, it's suited by the man himself, of course. Anyway, you might like it. And so, guys, we're going to put some images up now, and what kind of images have we got? We're going to kind of base it on around Christmas. No, it's not taking pictures of Santa's Grotto, or Louise and the actual Santa's Grotto with her head sticking out, waving, no taking pictures or anything like that. It's merely set you off the...
I thought you were going to say Louise want to start and dress up then. You're going to get everyone excited.
Crikey, that's
I didn't even rehearse that. That was just me spur of the moment. I always do that, just crap.
We did go a bit specialist there, Paul, to be fair.
Yeah. Anyway, guys.
Have you thought about rehearsing?
Not rehearse, never. Come on, it's only online. It's not TV, for God's sake. But So anyway, I'm going to shove this up here. I'm going to be careful I say that.
Is it the actress to the bishop?
It's that time, guys. It's that time.
It's time for that part of the show on Landscape Lenscast podcast, where we all take a look at the images for this week from
What's your take on this one?
No particular take. It is a lovely shot.
Speaks for itself, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, don't have any. Certainly no criticism of it, darling. It's gorgeous.
That's all.
Have you? You're saying you used ISO 6000. Did you use any kind of noise reduction or anything like that on it?
I just used the Lightroom denoise.
Yeah.
And it worked an absolute godsend, and that was it.
Right.
I've only cropped it a tiny little bit to bring that sky down a touch.
Yeah.
But I still wanted the white sky as such. I think I did have it on a pano, but then I just hide that sky a bit. 'Cause it just.
Do you mess around with the blues and that when you're doing the snow scenes? That's what I do. I sort of desaturate the blues and then bring them up a bit, in luminosity. And...
Yeah, I've desaturated the whole image a bit.
Yeah.
But on the what is it now? On the not the tone curve, but on the highlights, I've just brought the blues up slightly, just sort of toned it to the blues.
Yeah,
but that was it.
Yeah,
I haven't really done anything else to it.
Sometimes when you do snow, it can be really quite grey, can't it? When you're kind of getting a snow scene, and you captured it so that it hasn't got that. The rare times I've managed to get snow in the south of England, I've had to really take back almost like remove the blacks or the greys out of it. That's just
yeah. All I've done was desaturated it and just a tint of the blue, and that was it. But I do tend to on the Sony, you've got the blinkers. Especially with snow scenes, I tend to rack it up till the blinkers start flashing. And then I know I'm just about clipping, but I can just bring it back a touch.
Yeah, it's a lovely shot. That's a great one to start off with anyway. Thank you for sharing this image here, Dan. Thanks.
That's rather nice.
On Lithgow Palace, Douglas.
Lithgow Palace, yes, which is actually quite near to where I live.
Yes.
Near out West Lothian. And this was actually taken during lockdown. Myself and my wife took a walk across from Lithgow across to Bo'ness and back. So it was handheld because there was no way I was dragging my tripod that far. Far as processing, you're talking about the blues, Darren, there, but I went the lazy route and just put a blue photo filter right across it. But yeah, that's basically it. There's not a great deal more to add to it than that. One thing I don't like about it is all the scaffolding. There's not much we can do about that.
Yeah, I mean, something is, of course, it's an old building. It's Mary Queen of Scots was born there, am I right?
That's right, yeah.
So it's obviously it's an old building, so there's bound to be some type of scaffold around it.
Historic Scotland, they've just developed this thing where they can use some kind of sonar on the stonework on their buildings. And they've discovered half of them are in danger of falling down. So all across Scotland, all the historic Scotland properties have suddenly got scaffolding all around them just in case it kills somebody, So
scaffolding is nice and white though, with snow.
Yeah, it's lovely.
No, it is a really nice. I love the setting of that. I mean, the Linlithgow is in Linlithgow Loch.
Linlithgow Loch, yes.
Is that right? Is that the actual name of it? Right. Yeah. And one of the things that you and Dan were talking about blues. I mean, I was under the impression, and I still do it. Is I drag the blues out, so like it goes more of a grey kind of colour. So I try to stop the snow looking so blue. But on the trees, I can see what you're meaning by the trees there, because that blue makes it more luminous looking. It's giving it a bit more of an eye. It catches the eye more than the snow. If that makes it like more of a deep grey kind of tinge of blue. It doesn't look like blue, of course. But do you know, actually, I mean, is it just me, or is there a lot of people who will do that, who actually drag the blues right out of the snow?
It depends, to be honest. I mean, I only added them in because it was more or less blue hour on that one of mine. So I just sort of did it to the highlights. But I tend to desaturate quite a lot of my images and just add a bit of colour here and there.
Yeah.
No, I like my wintry images to have some blue around them. I
can see why now, though. That's what I'm saying. Because I was always under the impression that you want to make it more authentic looking to make it white. But as Louise said, it is that kind of thing. It looks a bit grey and dirty, and So I do get.
Think about the blues. I'm sure we all know that the it's the snow will fool your auto white balance, so it makes it more blue than it really is.
Yeah,
that's it. That's why
I like it with the blue in it myself.
So I normally just drag the saturation if it blew off a little bit, not right out, but just a little bit off.
I think you've also got to be a bit careful, chaps, because when we say so Paul, I've used this term quite a bit. I was under the impression that, or I should do X or Y, but actually when it comes down to it, it's our creative vision.
Yes.
And you know what? Forgive me saying this, but sod it if we're supposed to do certain things. Let's just do things that bring our creative vision to light. And if we want to do X or Y and others don't like it, well, below them to a certain extent, because it's what we envisaged how we wanted it to be.
Yeah, definitely.
I think snowy scenes can be very difficult to actually get how you want them to be. To look, and like you say, it's not. Because it doesn't come that often, and when it does, it's a one-off thing. So you're not actually that used at processing them. But I found with mine, and I think again, it's a different snowy scenes. You will edit that different. A bit like when you've got a bit of colour in the sky and things like that.
Yeah, well,
you will edit that totally different. If you've got a snowstorm a little bit like Darren's got, you'd edit that different as well. So but for me, I try and take that blue away on most of them, and more of a whiter scene, which will simplify it as well. And if you drop the DAs down again, it almost creates even more snow, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's a good point, actually.
And then it's them shadows. Sometimes you want that real emphasise that cold, so you'll put that blue into the shadows more. So again, like you say, it's out. There's no right or wrong way to do it. It's how you want to do it, and if you're happy with that, then that's it.
I'm just curious, Doug. Regards to you said it was handheld the shot. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And what shutter speed were you using at the time?
I think it was about 1/25 or something. It was fairly fast.
Yeah, it's a really nice shot.
Don't ask the ISO. I can't remember. But
it
certainly wasn't 100. It's been cleaned up again. The denoise in Photoshop comes to the rescue. So.
Yeah, I think denoise is as Steve says as well, is a great tool to use, especially with the snow. And mist as well, because sometimes you want to do it all the way around. You want to actually get the visual appeal, the visual of other things in the background. So you actually do the opposite side for denoise. So you want to get that more visually appealing, while there's trees in the background, etc. Love this, I really do. I love about it as well when you've got like an old-fashioned castle of a ruin. The imperfections of the windows. You look at the windows there; they're not exactly lined up like a modern building. They're all over the place. The windows. It just looks to me quite interesting looking at the castle and looking at these windows. See if you see them all different places. If that was like any kind of modern building, you would have them all shaped in the right size and all symmetrical with each other. It's quite interesting how they're built these days. It's really quite cool.
I don't know about you chaps, but do you ever watch things on telly or see something like this and you go, I would have actually, it would have lasted about 10 minutes. Someone would have shot, stabbed me, whatever. I'd have given up to the nearest person that pointed something weird at me. And then I look at this and just go, it just looks like it was quite a chilly place to live.
Yeah.
It had a roof on it, to be fair, when people were living there.
I hadn't noticed that bit, to be fair. I was just looking at the windows and thinking, crikey, that's going to be cool.
Yeah. It would have been back in the day.
That fire going in every room, to be honest. Drapes and all sorts of things to keep warm.
A prestigious place to live back in the 16th century back then.
Yeah,
I think definitely. We'll move on to the next one, Doug. That's a cracking shot and another Christmas theme off.
So I had to kind of slightly change the theme to, it's bloody cold when I took this shot. So there we are. That's my version of it. So this is Dingle. And when we were talking about going up hills, Darren, I may have perspired somewhat going up this hill. And of course, the problem is when you get a little bit warm, or rosy, as we like to say, when you get to the top and the wind is howling at you and you stop, you get flipping cold.
Yeah.
So I was up here with my long-suffering beloved, and we just had to wait and wait and wait until we could see something, because this was I was out in Dingle for 6 nights, and and most of those days were foggy or really kicking it down with rain. But this was the reason I was out there, and it was because I'd seen the lovely Nigel and Mads and all that crew. They go up. I'd done my research, because they don't reveal where the location is. And I'd done my research and thought, I have to go there. All this side lighting and spectacularness going on. And we got about 15 minutes of something, and then for quite some time. But I'd just like to assure you that it was flipping cold up there.
Yeah, I can imagine. So I can imagine you were talking about dehazing a gallery. You've dehazed that a little bit so you can get to see the visibility is a bit more clear.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not much, because if I did any kind of more, you got to see a little bit too much of the background ones that were going in there. But yes, it was clearly a tripod for the long exposure. It was about 280 mil, maybe a little bit more than that. And I was on the edge of, and it doesn't look it in the video, I was on the edge of quite a precipice, shall we say, where my cameraman was quite fruitily saying, I'm going to take this photo and I'm going to take this video and show it to your mother. So we had a few words about, I'm not going to show anything to my mother. She doesn't need to know how close the door was to the edge. But yeah.
Yeah, it's cracking.
Got to go back there because it was just a lovely, lovely place to be. But
yeah, I love them. These mountains with the hills that kind of repeats and, the same kind of structure all the way to the back. Beautiful. Yeah. But Darren, what's your take on this one?
I just love the layers. The layering on it is just fantastic. It takes you straight out into the sky behind. It's it's right up my street. Is this? Love it.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah.
It's I'm assuming we've probably all watched the video, but go and watch the video because the video is fantastic, Louise. This place looks phenomenal. And
my God, if you guys get the chance to, just so you are aware, the ferry leaves at 1:30 a.m. if you're going from Fishguard.
Right.
1:30 a.m.
Wow. Yeah.
You can see in the image how much effort you actually put into to get the shot and to put up with that weather and things like that. That weather, obviously, it's coming in and out, and and to sit there and have the patience to get the shot is very well done. I think I'd have get in and gone, to be honest.
I was determined to kind of stay up there, and the worst bit is the bit that I kind of the jammy shot, the one that you kind of see that Michael Chamblon did. Is kind of it's quite a bit further back, and I managed to get a bit of a cock up of the shot. And when I met Rodney, he just went, "Oh, the one you want is 300 meters further back." And we just go, 300 meters. And so anyway, so this has kind of come out a bit, but and we've been wild camping for 3 nights at that point. And let's just say, we're very pleased we didn't meet too many people at that particular stage because we were rancid.
All right. Yeah, it's really nice. I like this one. So we will go back to snowy images, guys, but just a little pause at this image because I do like looking around it. What I do like as well is the light on the left-hand side hitting against the sides of the hills and the mountains there. And then you've got like on the right-hand side, it's opposite. It looks a bit more colder, more mistier. But yeah, that light, was there much sunlight coming, or was that just like there's a patch in the cloud coming up?
There's just little patches every now and then. So a lot of them where there's just no light, except for kind of you can see the obviously the 5 going off into the distance.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, to be fair, it's the 3 really going off in the distance. But just at every now and then, just slight glimpses. That was all it was. And somebody subsequently said to me, "Oh, you should walk the 3 sisters." But actually, I like looking at them. And it was tough enough to get to the place there. I blow that. I'll look at them for a thought.
Yeah, I think you choose a better option because like to see it in its situ where they are as opposed to going on top of them and then try to photograph that way. I think that's just amazing, that picture. Really good. Yeah, so we'll move on to the next one, guys, and we're going to go back into snow again.
It's a kind of chase shot, and I think most of the country had snow besides you down south.
Yeah.
And it was midweek, and I've got the chance just to meet a friend of mine there in the snow early morning. So we got there, it was pitch black. Not sure what the lanes are like driving through because some of them are quite sketchy. Managed to park up where we park up. Knew where I was going to go. Was an area of moorland with lone trees and things like that. So and you potentially can get a fantastic sunrise. So knowing the location is so important for something like this, especially when after this mid-morning, that snow would start to melt and you just wouldn't get the shot. So it's really important to know where to go when something like this happens. And I've just seen this shot as I was actually walking around, and what drew me to it was the actual silver birch in the distance there in between the two. So I just tried to grab it and try different things, tried to incorporate the whole of the trees or just parts of them. But I actually prefer just this little section. And what we were so lucky because the mist was rolling through, and I thought it was actually going to roll through, and then as it does normally just disappear too quick and you're rushing around, and it actually stopped all morning for about 3 to 4 hours, something like that in the end, and then all of a sudden just burnt off and went. So we was very, very fortunate that morning, very fortunate indeed.
Yeah. So Gally just kind of focused on just one shot, and everything just dropped off in the back there. It's beautiful, isn't it?
I like the fact the snow, well, it looks like the snow is just gently clinging to one side of the tree. I mean, on the left-hand side, it's kind of the foreground of the tree, but it just...
Well, what I realised was, it's quite obvious when you're there, really, but if you obviously go around the other side of the tree, there's no snow stuck to it.
Yeah.
Because the snow's all on the one side. So you're trying to get compositions from that one angle.
Yeah.
And then trying to find subjects to suit, and so you can incorporate that. So obviously they've on the silver birch, but you get that nice cold feeling from it. So, but yeah, and again, I didn't expect. Normally, you go to these places when it's been snowing the night before, and the snow's already melted off the trees and things like that, and that's what you want, and you want it quite deep to get it clean, sort of walk around and things like that. But a little bit of DAs in the foreground just helps make that snow effect, if you like. And like I say, just try and get that greyness out the image of that fog, that mist, and make it more snowy looking, which what it was. But when you, as we said, is we're taking the image, they're quite grey and it's a little bit dirty. The image looked dirty. And it's just literally just cleaning the image up by just some of the sliders, just adjusting them. I didn't want to go. I've had a look at the black and white. I've actually printed a black and white for someone, and it does work really nice. But I always prefer to see a little bit of colour in the image, even if it's just an into colour.
This is epic. This one. I mean, I like the separation. It's brilliant. Love it. It's just with the foreground, the two birch trees, just everything in the shot in the little wall. I can see a little wall, it looks like. Or it maybe just the foliage just in the middle.
Foliage, yeah. It's just foliage.
Right. It's like all separate. Maybe it's because the snow has stopped and it's kind of, there's a bit of foreground there.
It's very moorlandy. It's very, a lot of it's full of heather, actually. But there's no heather in that bit. But a lot of it's very good in the August period. And onwards, it seems to last a lot longer there for some strange reason. But what you do get, because obviously you've got a valley down the bottom there, so you always seem to get a lot of mist down there. There's a little brook that runs through.
How far away were you from that location? What did you zoom in at?
Yeah, it's quite a long lens, that is. I'm shooting with a... I don't actually know. I'm going to guess at probably about 100 yards away from it with the long lens.
Yeah.
Which, again, it creates that bit of atmosphere as well.
Yeah.
I love the detail that is in those tiny branches. It's one of those ones that you could just look at and investigate for a long time. It's
I think that's why crop works better as well, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm with you.
When it's too open, you don't tend to see the detail. When you crop in a bit, it's more interesting.
Definitely. Using the long lens is definitely showing that. And I think, as Louis says, the branches, I mean, when it comes to like birch trees, the branches are very thin. It's almost like hair. You know, it looks like smooth kind of thing. I think birch trees are beautiful, especially in the snow. Definitely. Okay, we'll move on to the next one, guys, and it is mine. They're blowing. This was actually a very windy day. The snow was kind of going against the trees. Trees were moving with the wind. So yeah, this is what this shot is, and it's kind of quite. It's more messy and but I liked it because what I do like about it is just the action of it. It shows you the fierceness of the snow.
For me,
what was your exposure time on it, Paul? You know?
I had a shot that it was a slow shutter speed, but it would have been about, because you can see the snow kind of a little bit there.
Yeah.
That would have been, I used a crop sensor camera back then. It was a D7200 Nikon, and I was shooting about maybe 1/30th of a second, maybe.
Right.
So, but the wind was going really bad. We were going up, there was about 5 photographers were up at Glencoe at the time, and that was Glencoe Forest, just next to Glencoe itself, as you know. And just I was kind of over a bridge, and I shot from the bridge looking down, zoomed in at 400mm.
Yeah. For me, Paul, this one, the King's House Hotel, you can imagine this on the wall in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's one of them images where you'll see it in a hotel, is this.
Yeah.
It's just nice and abstract, winter scene, and goes great with that location.
Yeah, it's more of an abstract shot. It's not like just like with Steve's on this beautiful shot of like nice fine art, you could say. This is the opposite. It's more abstract. It's more detailed with regards to colours in there. There's a lot of colour. But yeah, it's kind of, it's 1/5, sorry, I think it'll be 1/30th of a second actually. It is 1/30th of a second. And when I took the shot, I thought, shit, I looked at it again, I thought, that's actually, I like that, it works. And the old camera had the D7200, you couldn't shoot in format as 1:1. With the D50, you can. So this was a full image when I took it, so I had to crop it down to a 1.1 crop to make it work. Yeah.
In slightly, it looks a little ICM-y as well because of the movement of what's going on in there. And hence why what Darren's sort of saying with that abstract, and you could see that very much. Or, I'm sorry, to be fair, that's even if you put kind of Steve's and this together in very different sort of rooms or very different areas, they're both kind of classic ones that would, you could certainly see. So
it's definitely.
It looks like a lovely corporate place that's been paying you lots of money, gentlemen.
It doesn't look. It actually looks like a drawing, doesn't it? It looks like
it does. Yes.
Really yeah. I absolutely love this. I think it's absolutely superb.
Yeah.
I think the crop works well with it, with that diagonal of the branch.
Yeah.
It's the movement. It's windy. You can see that the snow coming from sort of left to right. It's just a stunning shot, and it would look, would look superb on anybody's wall. That would. I even like almost them warm brown colours going into them greens and blues.
Yeah.
Everything
works.
works.
Exactly that.
Temperature going from the walls to the
And then it's thanks. I think it was 2019 I took that image. Wrote this as a bit old one. I mean, I've got other snowy images, but this is probably one I liked the best one out of them all. It was a bit different, I thought. I wanted to go something a little bit different.
But I think
thank you guys.
Shooting with a long lens as well, shooting through the snow, so you can capture all that movement in the snow at all different depths of the image as well. I think that's something else that really works in snowy conditions.
Yeah, that's when, I don't know if you know Glencoe very well, but there's a little bridge where there's a waterfall. And we pulled to the left because we've seen it, we've all seen it, and not that image, but there was the waterfall, etc. And I kind of opted not to go for the waterfall. I was the only person that wanted to shoot this. They're like, would you take a picture of the waterfall? Because it's too obvious for me, I don't want to do it. So I'm a weirdo.
We can get too focused on funny pot shots, can't we? And that waterfall, everybody's drawn to the waterfall, so even more kudos to you for actually seeing an image like this. It's so easy to shoot the mountain, the waterfall, even the bridge and going on and all this, that and the other. When you just selecting something like that, it's just it's excellent work, that is.
Thank you. We'll end on that one, guys, and thanks again for sending all your images. I actually found some footage which we'll put up later on tonight, guys. After this video, it'll be all the bloopers of us all together. And I think about the bloopers I made was about maybe only 90% bloopers. So, so that was not much.
Oh,
but
were there any of that night when I left and you lot became rowdy?
No, we didn't put that up. In fact, it was quite boring because we were kind of like all half cut and it was talking about getting phone calls from insurance companies or something. I thought, I don't want it.
Glad I left, boys.
Oh no, we're free streets to the west, I think, that night. That was a good night, actually. It was quite good. So guys, we're just kind of going over a few things and going back to when we were doing the Lenscast podcast. I keep saying last year, it feels like that.
Mm.
But we just start in January.
Mm.
The idea came up in December, end of December. It was actually around about now. I think it was between Christmas and New Year. The idea came up, which is quite weird. This is a year, you could say, that in the birth of it. But when you guys go over and look at the videos and the people we interviewed, I was going to ask each one of you, what's your best interview? Doug, what was your favourite person on the podcast today?
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed the interview with Shona Perkins.
Great.
My Beautiful Scotland. I thought her work was inspirational, shall we say. She's so bubbly with it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Likes to talk about it, very communicative. How do you see it?
Sound like me.
I do.
Like me to start a podcast. Yeah, it's very communicative.
So, yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed that interview.
Yeah. Yeah, I will put a clip on that now, guys. So here's Shona Perkins.
For me, I guess for me, my go-to shutter speed is probably anywhere between 0.8 seconds and 2.5 seconds.
Yeah.
That's my ballpark. But I mean, a lot of ICM photographers shoot a lot faster than that. And I've actually been called a long exposure ICM photographer before because I like to work at slower shutter speeds.
Yeah.
It certainly works because you're photography. Certainly in it. I wonder if it works. You'd have to change it for different landscapes, maybe. Quicker shutter speeds.
Yeah.
Being a moving subject as well, seascapes and things like that. It certainly works anyway because your work's fantastic.
Oh, that's kind. Thank you.
They are beautiful images.
How much trial and error is involved in getting the picture you want? I'm assuming you don't just go out there and go, whap, that's the one. You know what I mean? So.
I wish. No, well, I don't wish actually. No, that's not true. There's a lot of trial and error, and I can spend hours, in the same position at the same scene, and that scene might just literally be sea, sand, and sky. And for some people come up to me, what are you photographing? Are there seals? Are there dolphins? I'm like, no, I'm just photographing this big empty beach. And yes, I can spend. Yeah, it's a lot of trial and error, a lot less than they used to be for me because, practice really does help.
And move on to the next one. Dan, so just same question. Who is your favourite?
Probably Courtney Victoria's dancing.
Yeah. Don't have a copy.
But yeah, I
wish
think
I did, actually.
Courtney Victoria, the way she went about exploring the forest and the woodlands and stuff like that.
Yeah,
the way she went about it was just really good with that.
And what do you think of the interview itself? Do you enjoy the interview?
Yeah. I thought the interview was really good. We could have had a bit of a demo with the dancing for the 80s part.
Karen Morehouse, that's also a specialist.
Yeah,
I'm into 80s. That's it.
All right. I'll let you have that one.
I'll give you that one. Put a little clip up of the interview with Courtney Victoria.
My approach, I keep it very simple. Don't like to overcomplicate things. Number one goal is to have fun. And I like to try and view the world with curiosity, almost like a child would. Children are very curious about everything. Look at that, look at this. They see characters and things. I'm also an avid fantasy book and movie lover. And in fantasy genres and fantasy worlds, everything is magical. A bit of wood can be magical in some way. So I like to try and find the, uniqueness and extraordinary in ordinary things or ordinary places. So I do tend to, as you said, sort of spot characters and things in, ferns, trees, in small, fungi, and I just have fun with it. And I just love to sit and imagine, how this could be in a book or a movie, and I just have fun with it. That's the goal, just to enjoy, to play around with nature and just see what comes of it, really.
Steve, what about you? What was your favourite clip and why?
I would say probably Adam Gibbs. just because he's such a down-to-earth guy, he's just a damn nice guy, isn't he? You know, and he gives some real good advice out as well. So for me, that was the one I was gutted about, actually missing, was Mads.
He's
Adam certainly made up for that.
I mean, to be honest, they've all been really good, haven't they?
Yeah.
So if you had to
Shona was great as well, like you say. Shona was fantastic.
Yes.
Courtney was great.
I agree with you, because she had something different to bring. All the photographers we probably interviewed, apart from, we did have Stephanie Johnson on, who was
good work.
That was a good one. That was a really good one. I enjoyed that myself. But yourself, of course, Stephen, you talked about, Shona, and you've talked about, of course, Mads, and you've talked about Adam. So with Adam, the Gibbs interview, is that your best one you've been on?
For me,
the best one you watched.
Yes.
Let's say.
Yeah, Adam for me is the one I probably enjoyed the most. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll stick that up in. We'll stick that one. Here it is, guys. Adam Gibbs.
And so I did that for over 20 years. I worked in the editorial markets while still photographing just general nature. I mean, I love all types of nature, wildlife, close-ups, landscapes. I mean, it's all nature. It's funny how over the years we've kind of separated those things. We've got now astro and landscape photography and macro, but it's all the same to me. I enjoy all of it. So, living on the island, obviously we have if you watch my YouTube channel, I photograph a lot of trees and waterfalls, and people often ask me, well, why do you photograph just trees and waterfalls? Well, because that's what we have on Vancouver Island, is trees and waterfalls. So I don't really have much of a choice, So I've become quite passionate about photographing woodlands. Not to the extent that Simon Baxter is. I mean, Simon, that's all he photographs, is just woodlands. But I do spend a lot of time photographing the woodlands here, specifically the old growth forests. I'm really into the old growth forests here because there isn't that much left, which has kind of drawn me into another realm of photography where, now I'm not really an environmentalist, but I can see the huge impacts that we're having on cutting down all our forests, and especially old growth forests on the island here.
Louise, you've actually hosted a few of these podcasts, and thanks for doing that as well. What was your favourite one to interview, or your favourite podcast to be on?
Oh, crikey. Right. You know that I had a one-to-one with Shona following this particular session, and my video that comes out in a couple of weeks is about that.
Yeah.
So that you know.
Okay.
Tell you, actually doing that whatever it is that she does, trade secret there, it's so boring to watch. It's great when you're there, but it doesn't make a cracking video. Anyway, but it's brilliant. It's brilliant what she's done. I would possibly say I've also learned from Dean Allen, and actually I loved interviewing Courtney. And but Dean was a little bit of an unknown. I know he was very, very nervous. And it was just nice to see Dean really come out, and just his passion was just very different to Shona's, but very, very focused. I enjoyed doing that one, in part because he was nervous and because it's a power thing, but it was brilliant. And also he sells lots of things all over, living in Scotland, doesn't he? His work is in so many of the hotels.
Yeah, Dean Allen is one of my favourites as well, actually. Yeah. Quite enjoyed that interview, and that was a challenging interview because there's a bad connection, and we sorted it out. We managed to pull that off. And
you did a blinder on that one, Paul.
Well, it was just a fluke because but after that actually worked out. All the other videos went to hell. We even got Alistair off one because they couldn't hear him partly half the time. So yeah, I mean that's Dean Allen one. As Louise said, we'll put that up just now, and enjoy.
So, another thing for me is I think storytelling is an important pillar of my approach, and every photograph that I take in the Highlands is part of a larger narrative. as a story that connects the viewers to the landscape in a meaningful way. And what I always try to do is convey an emotion in my photographs. That emotion could be a completely different emotion to what the viewer may feel, but as long as I can get some kind of emotion out of the viewer, then for me the photograph has worked. I don't feel as if, I don't want to explain any of my photographs particularly, because I think if I start explaining the photographs, then to me it hasn't worked. But what I'll try to do is convey an emotion in the photograph. Whether it's bleak, whether it's cold, whether it's miserable, whether it's sunny and warm, and something that evokes some kind of response out of the viewer. So really my philosophy and my approach to photographing here in the Scottish Highlands is about capturing not just what the landscape looks like, but what it feels like. So if I can respect it and tell a story about it, I feel as if that I am creating images that reflect the true spirit of the region.
So what about your favourite? What's your one?
So guys, the first interview we done was Paul Thompson, and Paul, to me, I like Paul as a person first and foremost. He's when he actually came on to the podcast, he just seemed very earthy, just down to earth, really nice guy, just like Alan. And yeah, I mean, he is a good photographer. I do think he is, and I think he's very good at doing tutorial videos when he does these podcasts, because he does a little kind of video where he shows where, you actually get a video off the front of his camera in front of the screen. I do like that. Yeah, I think Paul Thompson was good. So yeah, we'll show that one just now, and here's Paul Thompson.
When you're actually taking a shot, and I love some of your woodland shots you've done recently as well. Some cracking shots you got regards to the atmosphere. Of course, was that in Vancouver Island, wasn't it?
So yeah, the last year I was lucky enough to we've been doing workshops in Vancouver Island with Adam, and then I was doing. We went on a trip to the Redwoods, and it was just awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome. That looked amazing. That did absolutely amazing.
Some of the best photography I've had in a long time. It really sort of lifted me up big style, because I could see another. It was like it's like you're almost stepping up a level each time, and you can see in your photography each time you go to a location, you're actually seeing these images in front of you, and you're making images that you're really proud of. And it's like I could see my progression happening this last year, especially because of the places I was visiting. And a lot of it is down to location. A lot of it is down to conditions. Once you've got the knowledge of how to take a photograph, you can only really improve that with conditions and location.
Yeah,
that's true.
Sorry, go on.
Do you think because you are full time, you're getting that opportunity to choose when you go out as well, if you know what I mean? Like you got your weekend warriors. They've only got them 2 days to get out. Like myself, I can get out pretty much when I want, and it's improved the chance of getting a better image. Let's say choosing that time. And that again then it improves your photography, just having the opportunity to get out whenever you can.
Yeah, it does make a massive difference.
Yeah,
because you can look out the window, and if you've got somewhere local, for example, that conditions are going to be great, you can just go. But it's one of those things as well. It's quite difficult to because you're at home and you're working from home and you're looking for things that are making you money. It's quite difficult to you're looking out the window, you're thinking, the conditions are great, but I've got this video to put together. So
you've still got a bit of, you've still tied into a degree. Yeah,
you are tied to a certain level because you've still got time constraints, even though you're putting those time constraints on yourself. But if you don't do that, then I find you're not going to get any work done that's going to.
So guys, that's that part out of the way. I just thought it'd be quite nice to do that. If I carry on, another good one, which I thought were really good, was Bill Ward.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah,
just because of how in depth he went into getting the shots.
Yeah,
like putting the wetsuit on, getting the camera in the bag, and going into the sea and stuff like that.
Yeah, and that was drawing so many cameras. Got me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I was going to use some of the footage on that for the bloopers because there's a few cracking bits. I think I might all actually. But yeah, that was quite a nice guy. He's quite funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's so full of energy as well, isn't he, when he talks?
Oh,
he's like,
yeah.
He's out there.
Really engaging and
He really very engaging. And he's an actor as well.
For your camera and go for a dip.
Yeah, yeah. So
I've put another one out there. Julian Baird.
yes,
I liked him so much.
liked him.
No, not in that way. I've gone all red now. I've gone all flushed up. But no, he's all right. I liked him.
Yeah, I do. I like him too.
He did come across really nice guy, didn't he? Real, genuinely nice. Yeah. But I think they all didn't really. They all
the guests have.
Chris Seal was also good.
Chris was a good guy too. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a brilliant interview.
John McKenna, I enjoyed his interview too.
John McKenna, yeah.
So, God, isn't it? When you look back at how many brilliant people we've had the chance to talk to.
Fair game. Alistair done a blinder with that one for the interview. So well done, Alistair, if you're watching. That was a good interview.
Yeah.
But yeah, John McKenna seems a really earthy guy as well, quite down to earth, really soft-spoken guy.
Yeah.
Kind of quietly confident as well. Doesn't have to just shows images, but the images do the talking. So yeah, I think we all had a good kind of few months doing this. And what's the future for this channel? Well, the guys here, of course, they may come back now and again, but I don't know what's going to happen to it. I'm thinking about doing it once a month or something like that, and we'll see. There may be changes, it may not run, I don't know. But so guys, so it's not over with, the door's still open, so who knows what's going to happen to the future with Landscape Lenscast. But one thing for sure, quite enjoyed tonight. It's been great. We've had some great discussions about past, about the channel, and also the bloopers you're going to see right now. Following this, you might not want to come back and watch it after this. You'll be just thinking, oh Christ, what am I watching here? Is it photography? But it is all photography, and it has been great photography. And there have been guys that are on here tonight. They are member photographers as well, and they do have channels, so do watch them. And also a shout out to, of course, Dan with his Photo Peeps. And I'm sure there's a couple of guys here who've got things in the pipework, so look out for their possible podcasts or possible new video takes, whatever. Still trying to get Doug back into YouTube again, but you can see Doug's body work on YouTube as well. And Louise's work is always great. And if there's anything to take from Louise's videos, if it's a poor video, she's got a great voice, but you never got a poor video for Louise because her work is bang on the money. So guys, after that, we're just going to say thanks again for watching. Thanks to, of course, Doug, to Don, to Steve, and to always welcome Louise.
And to you, Paul, for setting
you guys.
Thing up lovely.
Thank you, Paul.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah, I'm going to say goodbye to you all and look out in the future. Who knows what happens? Could be something.
And Merry Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
Merry Christmas.
There's a little odd gap there, I think. Merry Christmas, very guys. Merry Christmas.
Dear Lord.
What do you do? I've not been okay. I've been okay tonight, guys.
That goes in the outtakes.
Look, Paul's head looks like it's completely on fire in the background. I want to go,
it's the ginger coming back again.
What's all the colour behind you, darling?
See, us gingers, we can go blonde and ginger.
I meant it's all behind you there.
It's like, hello, yeah. It's like, it's Paul from Landscape Podcast. Like, oh, you know.
At least you are doing this.
Something like that, no, but...
Ring me.
Yeah. What's this?
You've got that sort of colour.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah. And Paul, I'm going to miss your very, very special microphone.
Louise, can you tell people what you think this resembles?
It looks like a very big day globe.
Yeah, okay, well, we'll decide if we'll keep that in or not.
That goes on the outtakes.
No pun intended.
So that's one for the kids in the school that we should
apologise. That was bad.
No longer a head teacher. We're all right.
We're all adults, for God's sake.
That's why Paul's like this.
It's in our hands.
Ring me.
Right, so, Merry Christmas, guys. Have a good one. And don't eat too much and drink too much. You know, drink responsibly, especially using a camera and it's getting day. Shake your hands. You have shit pictures.
You want a tumbleweed going across there, then?
It's sign off, is it?
That's the sign off.
You have to end it on that. You have to end it on.
I've got a link below for any Christmas cracker jokes you want for your Christmas crackers. You want to put them in. Yours truly, I've wrote them in. So if you want to get these, first come, first serve, remember. This goes out before Christmas Day, so you all see them. So please contact me if you want a Christmas cracker joke. Or two.
I don't know what to say to that. I'm all a bit scared.
Yeah, I'm going to stop recording now because
I'm just ready for him to go like this again.
Goodbye. Have a good one. Before we do that, of course, I just want to just mainly go around people and just ask, well, get everyone's opinion on one thing. Does anyone actually buy the Outdoor Photography magazine? Well, that's that conversation fucked anyway. Right, okay, so we'll skip to the next one, okay? We'll just go to the images. Right, anyway, I just want to...
I did before, Paul.
Just tell a little bit more about your backdrop of your childhood and where photography fitted into your life.
Right. Well, this
like a therapy session.
Yeah. So, how long?
I know we usually meet each other every week, so usually guys got nothing to say. So have you got anything to say this week, guys?
I've been out with.
Oh, they talk at the same time, you know.
Yeah.
And we'll reveal that a little bit in a minute. But so far, start again. So I'll cut that bit. So just introduce your suspects on the left-hand side here. I've got, of course, so the left-hand, right, I can't see a left-hand side. So record on cloud. If I'm recording on cloud, it doesn't go by, it always a sequence I'll be sitting on with Steve is just now, so it's not going to work. So guys, thanks for watching another Landscape Lenscast podcast. Either way, I don't know why, guys, but I'm not getting up.
Words I never thought I'd hear from you.
I believe I said that. Right, so good evening. Thanks again, guys.
Oh shit! Sorry.
It's time for that part of the show on Landscape Lenscast podcast, where we all take a look at the images for this week from present and past.
We don't find that at all embarrassing, Mads. Not at all.
It's a nice little bit of cheese. I always say, well, get rid of the cheese.
A little bit of cheese, a huge wheel of Stilton, that's what that is.
Well, you mentioned
Yes, it is
churches,
indeed.
and that's your church choir. You gotta keep that in.
Adam, I discovered the joys of Douglas's Alexa earlier on as I shouted, "Alexa, play the stripper." And she did. Naughty girl. Naughty girl she is. Fruity.
Yeah, don't worry. So everyone's okay. We're all good. Right, Fab 8. Here we go. Right. Okay. Oh, it's going to be boring from now on. By the way, all the goods happened before we start recording here. I'm just going to start. I'll just wait till everyone get your coffee, get your beer, tranquilizers, anything. That's it. Just start cooking some meths over. Right. So
it's been really fun here for us tonight. Thank you very much. I feel a bit honored to be asked, and I'm sure Courtney as well. That was fun.
Absolutely.
So good luck in season 3.
Yeah. Thanks.
Any of you guys want to add any closing words to your season 2?
I'd just like to say thank you both for your honesty for them images. Yeah, much appreciated.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks for giving up your time.
Yeah.
It wasn't as brutal as Louise maybe made it out to be at the beginning.
I just didn't want you to tickle the outsides. I wanted you to get right in there and just say, come on.